kings, we are the dreams of the legendary. I don't understand why all this talking is necessary. Why you exchanging heated vocabulary?
Hey there, I'm Lord Farquaad and welcome back to another video about Panau Survival. This video is a little bit different because we're talking about an all-new server, but it's running pretty much the same scripts as the old server. This server is Panau Survival Hardcore, which means that it's a little bit more difficult in some ways, and there's a lot of drastic changes compared to the normal Panau Survival. Specifically, many of these changes bring it more in line with what Survival District was like, but there are still some other changes that are not quite there. Specifically, if you'd like to see all of the changes, they're on the Changes channel in Discord. There's a lot of them, and a lot of them are pretty interesting, but I'll go over some of the main ones here. So to start off, all of the weapons have less bloom, so you're more accurate now, and all of the weapons have more damage, so you can kill people faster now, and drones. And the rocket launcher is now really good again. So you can go parachute around and shoot people with rockets all you want. Speaking of killing people, all of the EXP has been increased significantly, so it's much easier to gain levels now. And one of the larger changes is that both sources of EXP, the combat and exploration experience, are now in one single bar. So as you can see here, I have a bit of XP, and you can see it's 16%, and now they're combined into a single bar. So you don't have to get 50% exploration XP, 50% combat XP to get to the next level. All you need to do is fill up this bar, and that can be with any amount of combat or exploration experience. So if you want, you can just loot all day and still level up. Speaking of leveling up, perks have been changed a little bit. Specifically, there are no more perks that you're required to get to unlock items. So that means you can place land claims at whatever level you want. You can use the rocket launcher at whatever level you want. You don't have to level up to be able to use items that you find. You can just use them right away. And you also lose all of your experience and items on death. This is part of the hardcore aspect. But the loot tables for all loot have been changed to provide better loot than usual. So it should be much faster and quicker to be able to get good loot that you want and start building a base. You could probably have a base within 15-30 minutes of playing the server, and leveling up is very fast now. Speaking of bases, there's a lot less restrictions on where you can place a land claim. Specifically, you can see that the neutral zone is very small now, and anywhere outside of the neutral zone, except for workbenches, you can place a land claim. So if you want to go claim parts of this city, you can go ahead and claim parts of the city. If you want to claim airports, go ahead and claim airports. If you want to claim, Mile High Club, you can claim Mile High Club. You can claim any place you want. There's basically zero restrictions on where you can claim besides just where existing claims are. And speaking of restrictions, if we open up the asset manager, you can see that we have a lot more vehicles to start, a lot more stashes to start, a lot more land claims to start. So these are just the starting amounts, which are greatly increased from normal Panau Survival. And then in perks, you still have all of the different perks to increase those slots as you level up. And of course, you have lots of different fun perks that'll help you in various aspects of the game. So lots of fun things to do here. There are a lot of different item changes that you should probably check out in the Discord. You can also place explosives underneath loot again. If you remember from the very beginning of Panau Survival, you couldn't place explosives, or you could place explosives underneath loot, and we disabled that because everyone was dying. And now you can do it again. So have fun just rigging up all the loot so people can't get it. And speaking of loot, not only have we adjusted the loot tables so that you get better loot in general, you can also find really good loot in the starting city. Let me just give you an example. If we go up here, usually there wasn't any good loot in the starting city because we wanted people to explore outside, but now there's good loot in the starting city. Just go up to the highest rooftops and look at that military vest wall. We can start building a base, get geared up, and fight people right in the city. And there's also plenty of drones to fight. Drones have been slightly upgraded as well. Drones can now spawn airstrikes sometimes on you, and they can also throw grenades at you sometimes. So it's a little bit fun, adds a little bit more danger to the whole scenario. In terms of items, item cooldowns for airstrikes have been removed. So what does this mean? This means that if I have a few cruise missiles and I want to just spam the area and make sure this dude doesn't escape, I can do that. I don't have to wait between uses. So that should be pretty fun and super dangerous. As you can see, I'm hitting a bunch of drones down there, but yeah, so that's another thing. So it's hardcore and somewhat unlimited in some aspects. There's a lot of interesting things that I'm trying out here to see how it goes. Burst ping also no longer has a cooldown between uses, so you can just spam that as much as you want to knock other players down. The land claim height limit has also been increased to 8,000 meters, which means that you can go ahead and make your sky bases again. So yeah, feel free to go for it. Or you can make giant skyscrapers right within the city, because you can claim land in the city now. Vehicles now also cost half of what they normally would on Panau Survival, so this might cost 10 on Panau Survival, and now on Hardcore it costs 5. So it should be a lot easier to get vehicles. And loot tables also have been changed, so lockpicks are a little bit easier to find as well. And we've got some new vehicles that can spawn at existing spawn locations, such as tanks with lots of armor, and the Topa Chula. So if you want the Topa, you can go ahead and find one. It's very rare, of course, but it's out there and you can find it. And vehicle guard damage upon getting into a vehicle that has a guard on it is now 25% instead of 100%. And those are a lot of the main changes that we have. So it's a completely different playing field, and this is sort of like a little experiment to see how this goes, and we'll see how it goes. The hardcore server is going to come out on Saturday, June 19th. It'll probably be in the morning Pacific time, around 10 or 11 a.m. So look out for it then, and it'll have a completely clear database, so everyone will be starting fresh at level 1 instead of 0. And yeah, it'll be an exciting time going to those rooftops, finding good items, and experiencing it all over again. So hope to see you there.